everyone, welcome back to our channel.
She is always right.
And in today's episode, we are going to talk about
Today we are going to talk about the most important part of our lives, our bread and butter.
our careers, basically. I know in early 20s, it might seem like you're completely confused in this pool of people and in this pool of society where what you want to do and where you want to head and what is the right career for you. And there are thousand such questions. Trust me, we know the feeling because we've been that, we've done that. But it gets better with time and the more you explore. Today we're going to talk about how we navigated our career, how we came out and are excelling where we are excelling today, and maybe not fully excelling too, but we're still
But there's
learning.
always room for more and more growth and
Yes.
how you deal with people.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that, about our careers and all about how to navigate it in this
So
episode.
let's get started.
Yeah. So today it feels like we are in a position to give right advices because the advices are going to be directly correlated to your careers.
To our best experiences.
Yes.
So if you look up to us, you can take all the suggestions needed
And
and,
I think-
apply it in your real life too.
Because it is coming after we've been there, we have done that, we have faced it
And
all.
I've turned 29.
So that gives you a validation of giving career
I'm like
advices.
officially an adult now.
To give career advices.
No, but
Yeah,
life,
no, makes sense.
Life advice.
Age does validates experience.
But
and-
sometimes the person I am, I'm like, do I need to give advices or do I need to follow my own advices first?
You're always going to be in that position, no matter what age you become. She genuinely needs to follow her own advices. Anyways, so starting with the first question for you that I want to ask is before heading into careers and where we are right now, was this always the career you planned? or-
No, not at all. Not even in my dreams, I thought I would be in marketing because I did not know what marketing was when I entered university. I mean, I knew, but like it was not that big when we were in university.
Yeah, so what was your dream career? Like when you were after 11th, 12th, what were you thinking you wanted to become?
In 10th grade, I absolutely knew that maths and science, not my scene. So I have to take commerce. Then I entered 11th grade and then I got this subject called accounting. I'm like, oh great, no commerce. Because that's again, anything
Maths.
related to math and numbers, I can't. It's just not in me. I'm a very creative person. I'm a different kind of creative in my own good way, and then I excel in that. But when it comes to geopolitical issues, this, that, I'm not interested. There was this one girlfriend I had in Nasik who moved to Bombay, and I was just like chatting with her one fine day, and that time I was in 11th grade, and I'm like, yo, I really don't know what I'm gonna do after 12th because I'm not interested in commerce. And she's like, why? Have you heard about BMM? I'm also doing that. Why don't you take that? I'm like, BMM? That sounds interesting. What is it called? And she's like, it's like Bachelor's of Mass Media. I'm like, really? And at that point, my dad, I would like to thank him in certain aspects of my life because he did this whole IQ test of me and my brother where it was a team and their company was also like US based. They came to our home, they took our thumbprints, face analysis, everything when I was in my 10th grade. And I don't know how and then also we had to write few aptitude tests with it. So the total test was of 4 hours. And in that, my results were definitely, in logical intelligence, I was in minus, which means mathematics. So it was good. I was good in like creative stuff. And I used to also play guitar at that point. So I was good in instruments. Careers which not a lot of people are fascinated with at that point. They're like, okay, so where is she going? Because everything that we know is extracurricular activities is a big tick on her side. But anything related to degrees or studies is in minus or not really good. And that was also good because I did not have to fight that battle because it came from a test.
Yeah.
And then they understood, okay, then she might need to go in this field.
Creative field, basically.
Yeah, it was a hard thing to get out of my hometown because my grandfather had a lot of power on my dad's decision making too. at that point, and then he was like, no, you cannot go. I'm like, no, but I want to go and I want to do journalism, because if I told them I want to go and I want to become a weather reporter, that was my dream. Oh yeah,
What?
to start, I'm like, okay, what is BMM? And then I researched more about BMM. Okay, there are like, BMM is not restrictive to things. You can go into ad, you can go into journalism. And at
Yeah.
that point, I was in small town, so I did not know what advertisement was such a big deal. You know, I
Yeah.
just thought, okay, people who make ads, so I'm not going to do that. Journalism, we were fascinated because our parents used to watch news and all that. And for me, I knew that I am a little bit emotional and I'm very sensitive to these topics. So politics is not my scene. And then what in journalism that I can do, according to my aura and energy, was weather reporting. And I also yeah, I also thought, because like I wanted to utilize my good looks in a different way. Like, I did not want to go in acting or entertainment industry and all that, because you know, like if we have a podcast student, you give me, let's say, a script of 2 lines for introduction, I have such a hard time that I'm like, no, I can't. So
Yeah.
definitely that is not my scene. I'm like, I want to show my face to the world. I want that little fame, but in a very different way. So weather reporting is for me, and I was always fascinated with all these weather reporters.
So why didn't you
'cause-
think about entertainment reporting? Like,
Yes, I did eventually when I came in the industry. Then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is also a very nice niche that I can follow. But initially, my plan was that I'm gonna go and I'm gonna become a weather reporter. I never told them that I want to become a weather reporter. I'm like, it's journalism. It was a hard battle to fight, but I got out, and then I started my university in Mumbai, and it was really nice. So to start with, that was my plan. Let's know from you and then we will gradually, step by step, tell whatever we went through or whatever was
Yeah.
the initial plan. For me, it was weather reporting. So like, people would not even think about it. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, weather reporting. Because I still feel I could be good at it.
yeah, but I don't know how much weather reporting is still happening. In
Yeah,
India.
but that time it was a big deal.
Yeah, maybe.
Like they would, and also the girls would dress up nicely. I like all of these things. And if it's glam for earning money, why not?
Yeah, true. So for me, it started with, to be very honest, I was a good kid in extracurriculars. I was a sports person. So initially, if I remember, like the earliest dreams of becoming something was a sports person. I wanted to become a national level volleyball player, or like a, represent Team India, whatever, in that sense. But with growing up, I understood, like, till the time I reached 9th, 10th, and we shifted from Pune, which was such a sports-centric city, to like Vapi, which had no sports at all. I understood that the reality is far away. So then my dreams did change, and I was always like this studious, curious kid. So I was good at my studies also. I was a disciplined kid. So I also wanted to, and was little inclined towards becoming a doctor, which was my initial plan. So I completed my 9th, 10th, although I was not the extreme, like the best in studies, but I was always in the ranks of like 80s to 85, which is good enough, sufficient enough. So when I finished my 10th, I took up science for 2 months. And I took up biology, and I was studying fully committed to the fact that I'm going to become a doctor. And my father once sat me down and he said that, I understand that you are very passionate about becoming a doctor and all of that, but do you have so many years of your life to give to this? Because becoming a doctor is not an easy feat. You will have to give like 10 years to your studies, and you have to study back to back. And also that, being a doctor requires a lot of money until and unless you qualify for a government college, which also was like a distant thing to dream about, because if I don't get into the ranks, and if I don't pass the exam and get into like a government college for doctorate,
Then
I
it's
would
like a crore or
I
something.
would, like, my parents would have to spend 1 crore or something
Just
on a
for
private.
donation. Fees is
Exactly.
separate. Everything else is separate.
Everything else is separate. So medical school, 1 CR goes nowhere. So then that was not the option that I could rely on. So of course I had, like, then the first phase of doubt started crippling in, and then I sat with myself. I understood that, if not this, what am I really good at? If I just think of not becoming a doctor, what is the next thing that I want to passionately do? Which was always, because as a kid, I was always grown up in this household when my father had made sure that we are updated with like politics, we are updated with what is happening in the world, current affairs, documentaries, And that's all we watched, in fact. All like Discovery, National Geography, news, this is all we watched. Sports. So I was very well aware of that, and I was also a curious kid, so I would like to know. So knowledge bank wise, मेरा वो quota ठीक था. So my dad said that why not of journalism? Like, you like politics, you are somebody who likes to speak out her opinions, you're good at debate team, you're good at extempore team, so you're like going in those extracurricular activities too, you have those with you, so why don't you go and get a career out of it? And that actually struck a chord to me. And I feel like coming from small towns, the first set of challenges is that you're not exposed to a lot of career options. Like, there are very few standard career options. Unke alawa, journalism was still like a very new career option. Like, people used to not send their kids for journalism, and my dad was very supportive, and he said that you should go for journalism. And then I thought, yeah, this is what I want to do, and that's the plan that I got when I came to Bombay. I went for BMM college. I didn't want to go very far away from the house, so Bombay was the next best place to be at, which had journalism courses. So I took a BMM, and the rest is history.
My God, you being a studious kid and taking BMM.
Was, to be very honest, it was when I stepped into BMM and I gave my first semester exam, I literally looked down upon the course. I was like, what is even this? Like, it was so easy for me when I
Now when I look back at it, I'm like, people who don't know anything in life take BMM because
I know
it's safe, it's
because
easy
I
to
did
pass.
question my caliber and my capacity of learning, because when I came, like, I thought that every other person who didn't wanted to do anything with their life or wanted to stay away from like actual studies took BMM.
Would take BMM.
And then I was like, are journalists not required to have like knowledge and study? But which turned out in the third year, which was required.
Yeah, because third year we specialized.
Yeah, specialized in journalism. First and second year was literally a cakewalk for me. I didn't feel like any pressure of study or anything at all, to be very honest.
So moving on to our next phase, when we stepped into our college, and this journey might be a little bit similar for both of us.
Yes.
Because all these 3 years we were together, and then we will just describe how they were for you.
For me, it was good. Like, when I entered BMM, as I said, that study was never like a difficult part for me. I felt like it was literally the most basic syllabus I could ever get, and I never picked up the books. I never studied because whatever was being taught, I already knew all of it. I'm not bragging here, but that was the case. So it was easy for me in terms of study, but it was not challenging for me. Like, I felt like somewhere I was not challenged enough, or I was not pushed to my boundaries to learn something. But what I really appreciate BMM for was the extracurricular activities that came along, like the filmmaking course or, short filmmaking. And I did get to explore a little bit part here and there in terms of acting, which was never in my distant dreams. Which also, I feel like BMM...
Acting you tried in college?
College में छोटा मोटा जो भी हमें मिला था उसमें तो I tried only. Nobody
trusted. What were you, a shadow?
Take second. I want to ask this today in terms of we are talking about career. I don't know why in all the filmmaking that we had, like one big film we made, one short film we made and all of that, none of my classmates trusted me with any acting part. Like, nobody thought that I can also become an actor and I can also play a part, which I am excelling right now in my career. But nobody thought of that of me.
But even I did not thought that, because you did not give that vibe. You were more of an intellect, like good in debates and all that. So you already had that perception over everybody. And then people who are good in such things, they don't generally
thrive at art or want
or whatever, so people, and then there are people like me who are like, no, I will act.
Oh, she used to act. She used to always play the main parts and main leads in all the films of, her team. And I never got those chances because I was always thrown in like makeup team or costume team or like scripting team or something, or the else team, but never an acting
part. And then she got one part, which was a shadow.
So we were making this film on schizophrenia. And we made this short film, and what I was casted for is literally this human being who's playing the main lead part, whatever. And I am casted to being just a shadow, an imagination shadow that he just sees for like few seconds. So and in that also my face was not visible because I was wearing this hoodie which was still here. So my complete face was invisible and it was a dark shot, mera sirf silhouette tha, and I was casted for that. So maybe that. But as coming back to the point that so that is where like BMM opened doors for me in terms of I started going out for more like Mr. and Miss pageant, sub-pageant sort of competitions. And I started to understanding that part of me that I do enjoy ramp. Like, I do enjoy to be on stage, and I do enjoy, like, you know, Q&A rounds. And so maybe the pageant sort of, little bit of pageant interest might have seeded in that place in like college times when I was going for this Mr. and Miss and Mr. and Miss and that sort of competitions. But acting was still not in the picture.
Yeah,
And I
you
was still
were pretty involved in modeling.
Yes, I was still determined that, you know, I'm going to finish the college and I'm going to go for my master's in journalism and become a journalist. That was my sole goal.
But this was just extracurricular.
Yes,
that you were
this was
trying.
how my college went by. But after college, things changed a bit. But we'll talk about your college. How was career figuring out in college? पहली बात तो कॉलेज में कोई करियर फिगर आउट होता नहीं है. जितने तुम कंफ्यूज आते हो उससे ज्यादा कंफ्यूज तुम कॉलेज में हो जाते हो कि क्या हो रहा है.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, so the first year when I entered college, everything was pretty fascinating to me because I'm like, oh my god, if studies are like this, I want to be studying here, you know, because there were so many different variations of subjects that they were teaching us.
Yeah.
There was photography, there was ad making, there was marketing. There was computers, there were a lot of, like, in 6, let's say,
semesters we had different branches.
36 subjects that we learned, right?
Yes.
So in the first 2 years, because I was like, yeah, I want to be on camera. So whenever ads and whatever we shot, I'm like, I will act. I want these to be my sideys. And then people, I don't know why people would agree to everything I say in the college. And like, I had a very nice team. So whatever I said, they're like, okay, fine, you can do it. And then there would be like 100 cuts of that part and I would still not be able to do it. And then the camera dude was like, are you
because
sure?
you were bad at acting.
Yeah, he's like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, don't teach me. I'm giving my next shot. Okay. And at that point, I'm like, this looks another career for me.
You thought acting was a career for you?
Like, this is another career for me. And then there was a short film that was made in the first year. And that was related to, like, I'm wife and my husband has Alzheimer's and the husband has a sister. So it was a life of three people in a triangle sort of thing.
Yeah.
And in college, you don't really spend money on shoots. We have to
budget.
There is no budget. There is no budget.
Exactly.
You have to find locations on yourself.
Free.
One person will have a camera. And then everything is going to be whatever, adjusted according to it, right? So there was this one shot where I had to cry, and I had to cry in a cafe. So we spoke to this cafe person, and he was ready to give us the cafe for morning shoot. And because I took so much time in other shots, my team was like, listen, man, if this shot is going to be ruined, it's all on you. We are not gonna say anything. We are gonna keep calm till you reach there. And nobody said anything to me, like only this one line and no pressure after that. But there was so much pressure inside my head, and I'm like, they were carrying glycerin and all too. And in that cafe, we had only 1 hour.
So you had glycerin to cry and still you were worried that how will you cry?
Yeah, because I started laughing all the time whenever the shot is ready. I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is going on? And I started laughing. So that was the shot when because I was so pressurized, I'm like, oh my God, if this fails, this is on me. So with that pressure, I performed well in the crying acting. And then overall, once the movie was edited, it was very well done because obviously they chose the best shots and all that. And eventually I realized I am not meant for this. But what happened in the first 2 years was I was just acting as someone's wife, because first when I played that role, now every other project knows that I'm a wife material kind of a person. So no other roles were given to me. I'm just like being someone's wife.
So you wanted to become choosy also in terms of what role comes to you?
No, but that was the first role that I did.
Yeah.
So every project that we had, the team thought I would do a wife's role. And then I was a wife in I was like, maybe there were 10 guys in the class and I have been wife to everyone in acting. So it was like very funny. So first 2 years.
But at least you got the chance to act. I feel like, why didn't I get the chance to act?
I don't really feel like, oh my God, it's a big deal, because now you're in acting. So for me, it was just like a fun game. So 2 years went just
in doing
it just passed by, and unlike you, I had a lot of social and personal life. So I also needed to give time there and to go out and to explore the city and all that. And obviously studies, as you said, for me also, I was shocked that I have struggled so much my whole life, and this comes so smooth to me.
Easy.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like, thank God. Finally, a field where I feel very confident in, and I'm also
Thriving.
scoring good, and like I'm actually interested in learning these subjects. And then third year, I knew that I'm gonna take journalism, because for me, if I go and add, it's more like more demeaning for me. Not that it is demeaning, it is also great. Whatever the work is done great. But
Yeah.
for me, it was like, I'm better than that, so I'm gonna do
Journalism.
journalism. Very wrong thought process. But for me, it was like, no, I'm gonna do journalism. And there was this one subject where we all got a case study, and we had to, I don't know if you remember it, we had to pick up our own topic, and we had to do like a case study, proper
Oh
thesis
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting, because the building that I lived in, we had bachelors, and
Yeah.
there were boys bachelors living above my apartment. And like this guy's name was so we were friends with this guy, and like he used to play loud music all the time, so we always had fights, because my balcony, his balcony was just like this. So I'm
Close.
like, yo, please, can you cut down? I'm not gonna take the name, cut down the volume and all that. And this dude committed suicide in Mumbai Taj. So
Oh yeah, the one that became a very big story.
Yeah, very big story. But I already knew the sources to it. I knew his close friends. I knew, so everybody was having a very hard time to open up. But they did tell me the story, and then that is what I wrote.
Your thesis on.
That. So it was very interesting to see how, for me, I was so much against it, but because it was personally related to me.
You
You
wrote a piece about it, and you
I
felt
wrote a
nice.
piece about it. And after third year, I just wanted to get into job scenario, but then something happened, which I'll tell you later. Let's move on to the next phase after college.
So I think after college, everybody is at a phase where they sort of know what they want to do, but I have also been confused, because
Yeah.
now suddenly you're open up to so many arenas, and the opportunities that were never spoken about are suddenly opened up. For like in my scenario, in my case, I came from small town Vapi. So as I said, like very few careers were always like standardized, like becoming a engineer, doctor, or taking an IT job or whatever. And then other than that, very few were like out of box kind of careers, which are like dancers or becoming like say a journalist. Even this
Yeah.
was like an out of box career. But acting, modeling, all of these conversations never happened. You never knew that you could make a career out of. So I think in college, when I came to Bombay suddenly opened up all these like avenues for me, which I never thought about pehle. Ki, oh, this can also be a career. Oh, this can also be a career. Maybe this can also be a career. So I think in that terms, you are suddenly exposed to a lot of choices, and then you're confused in your own head. But after college, I was certain about thing that I wanted to do journalism. I attempted for a master's degree for the same, got into a college, but then decided not to go about it. I don't know why there was this constant confusing feeling after college that was always there in me, like, is this for me, or should I just go for a master's abroad and do my master's in communication or marketing and do something about it, because that seemed like more stable and more earning, like a little more revenue making professions, right?
Yeah.
And I was
and
like,
we have been trained like that.
we have been trained like that. We have been trained in terms of think about money first. So I feel that also came into the picture, and also I had an influence from my sister. So my cousin sister, who was elder to me, was heading to abroad for masters. So then I thought that okay, maybe this is what I should go for. Like this seems like more stable and more definite kind of career. So then I started preparing for GMAT. And while I was preparing for GMAT, I don't know, my mother always wanted me to push into like modeling and Miss India. Not modeling per se, she always wanted me to go into Miss India. Like that was her dream. Like my daughter should go for Miss India, and she's always been dreaming about that. So my mother thought that this is the right time to put the nail in the coffin and tell me that if you're going abroad and you're planning that, you will get into the September-August intake. तब तक तेरे पास बहुत time है. तू एक try तो दे दे Miss India को, क्या ही हो जाएगा. And I think that also came from like she came from a small town deprived of like career choices and things like that, and then she was 17 when she came to Bombay and suddenly opened up to this glamour world where she saw girls dressing up a certain way, going for Miss Indias. So I think it was more of her dream which she sort of saw through me, and that's why she was pushing me so much for Miss India. But eventually it worked on me, and I said that okay, might as well just give it a try because I have given other things a try. I went for Miss India, and Miss India is where everything sort of changed.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah, I
literally
saw during
changed.
that time you were like vanished for some time, and then
Yeah.
I'm just like looking at Instagram. I'm like, Miss India's page, you are there. I'm like, what in
Yeah.
the world? And you're like, I can't believe that happened. Like,
Yes.
you just went, not even with the expectation that, oh, you want to take this so seriously. There are girls who are preparing for
For it.
pageants since years and years, and
Yeah.
this girl is going without no preparation, nothing. And I'm just thinking, like, my best friend is now famous.
So I was not even fully prepared for it. Like I
Yeah.
was not like a pageant girl ever, and maybe it was. I think it's how things do work in destiny. Like you end up in a place where you're supposed to end up with surprise effects and surprising events, and that happened with me. Like Miss India literally changed everything for me. That one audition which I thought I'll never make it, I didn't really get into it. I was in top 3 of the state selection,
And
at
you
one of
won.
in one of the top pageants of the country at that point.
Top,
And
I think that is
the best pageant of the country, and I won.
Yeah.
And it was from there onwards, everything for me changed. Like the exposure I had, the kind of training I had, the kind of people I was meeting, the kind of places I was going to, everything sort of changed for me. And suddenly I felt like, okay, this can also be a career for me. And for me, the modeling career started when Miss India finished. Like I had Miss India and all of that. I was still not sure if I'm going to continue it after, finishing this pageant. What will happen? Will I win? Will I not win? There are a lot of questions, and you're young, so you're just there. Also in a place where there are 40 girls around you, 30 more girls around here, you're just confused, like what is happening, how to navigate, how to go about it. You've been not trained for it and you're still into it. And it's nothing like you've done before or seen before. So after Miss India finished, I was very sure that if I don't win, I am going back to my life and I'm doing what I was doing and maybe do a master's and then, go back to the same old career. But in Miss India, there were like these competitions, and the competitions were the choreography was done by one of the top choreographer of the country. She who does choreography for like all your Lakme Fashion Week, FDCI Fashion Weeks, all your big designers, Sabyasachi, name them. All those designers, which is Anu Ahuja ma'am, and she was doing the choreography for us, and she picked me up because I was always a tall kid and modeling does require tall girls. So she picked me up from there, and after the finale night, I vividly remember she came to me and she said that I was hoping for you to win, I was rooting for you, but whatever's done.
But
do you
even
want
to make in top 12 without any training, without
Yeah.
having any experience of what are they actually doing, the walks, the traditional clothing,
Yeah.
the swimsuit round, the talking,
Yes.
you did pretty good for, and
Yeah.
that is rare. A lot of people fight and they don't even like get into it, and you
Yeah.
were top 12. I think you should cherish it.
Yeah, I do cherish it because I feel like it has also come from the fact that I was in college time. I went out and explored so much and met new people
Yeah.
and tried to learn. And I was always in this place. I think in career, whatever career you choose or wherever you are in life at that present time, like if you're certain, you're not certain about your career, what you should be certain about is try everything and learn.
Yeah.
Because you never know what might strike the chord for you. You never know what randomly doing something makes you understand, oh, this is the purpose
Yeah.
you have in life, which happened with me. Like I was not expecting it out of Miss India, but it happened with me. Like I found a place where I was happy. I found a place where I was seen, where I was represented in a very different light, which I was not. Like growing up, no one would have looked at me. Even in college, nobody would have looked at me and said that she can become a pageant girl or she can become an actor one day. Actors तो मुझे देख के कोई नहीं सोचता था. सबको लगता था कि I'm not made for that. But you never know what lies inside you, right? So I think Miss India sort of ticked that box off for me, where it made me feel like, okay, I can also be in a space like this and thrive in a space like this. And as I said, Anu Ahuja ma'am on the finale night, she said that, do you want to do modeling? And I said, okay. And to be very honest, modeling at that age and that point was paying pretty good. And when you're like 21, 22, you're in this hurry of wanting to earn your own money and just get
Yeah.
into the place where you're being independent and then you don't have to answer
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
The dreams are really small.
Yeah.
उस time पे आपको यही लगता है कि कहीं 70-80,000 की job
Yeah.
लग जाए, life would be sorted. Like then I will not look back at anything. And I think that was the goal. And when modeling opportunities came in, they came in with a lot of money, which was not मतलब I could not see उस time पे उसके अलावा मुझे कहीं और career से दिख नहीं रहा था, because I had to put like more years into study and then maybe get to a place where I can earn the money. Here it was just coming to me. So I said, why to say no? And I just went in. I went all
Yeah.
in. I started modeling. I started doing ramps. And then suddenly I was put into a place where this world was so alien to me. Like now I'm meeting, like I'm seeing designers like Manish Malhotra. I'm seeing designers Gaurav Gupta. I'm seeing Falguni Shane Peacock. I'm wearing their pieces. I'm in this glam world where everybody is glam.
And
I'm
you're
walking in the rooms where there are A-listers sitting beside me. I am constantly living in front of camera, which was a completely alien world for me. It took me time to figure out and understand if this is a space I'm comfortable in, but it was a different experience altogether, nothing that I had till date sorts. So I feel that literally changed the way I perceive myself and the way I was behaving before and in terms of my personality. But there was a different journey that started after that. But this is still, like after college, this is where I was.
Like where you started.
Yes, started. Like exploring, trying new things and then stumbling upon something that felt like a strong suit for me. For you?
For me, I think like after college, I was like, no, I'll just start working. I'm just gonna find a job. I'm gonna start working. But at that point, I think my elder brother had a lot of power over my decision making, and then in house, everybody would just listen to him. And he's like, either you do your masters or you come back home, because you are not gonna just have like one degree and then just like take a job, because that's so unfair for where we come from, and as a family we all have like 2 degrees at least each. Nobody just does like bachelors and start working. I mean, he was also in that zone, but he thought like masters would actually help me, because till now I was still a little bit clueless that journalism, maybe I'm gonna work for news channels, I was gonna apply for radio channels and all of those things. But then anyways, I got into this master's program, which was Masters of Media and Entertainment. And that is where again I learned few subjects. There were not a lot of subjects, there were few subjects, but very well taught subjects. And
like in depth.
In depth. There was like production, there was marketing, there was a strategy, creation, and all of those things. And my program was associated with a company called Geo Studios. The founder of Geo Studios was also the founder of the course in my college. So he picked like top 10 students who presented, and then he took them into the internship for Geo Studios. So for 6 months, I was working while I was also studying. So it gave me a good exposure of how industry works while studying. So I think that was the bestest decision that I made. In my masters, because in those 6 months, because Geo Studios was a big name to start with, and we were working on Narendra Modi's advertisements, and then we were working on these big travel companies ads where we were also like traveling. Then we were working with top celebrities like Deepika, Ranveer Singh, and models like Urvashi Rautela when she was big at that point. Because the founder had all these contacts. So he had different segregations and parts departments in Geo Studios, where there was actors management. Then there was in actors management, the full-fledged management was like of B grade actors, or like not B grade. And what do you call them? But like for our term was like A-listers and B-listers. A-listers are basically your movie actors, blah blah blah, but they are only managed during the ad shoots and whatever we use them for. But B-listers are your TV actors.
360-degree management.
Your TV actors, or your actors who have been on screen but
not very well
not
known.
lead actors. They are the side actors, but they still have a good presence, and then managing them. Then we had a marketing department, then we had a production department, and in those 6 months I got experience in all the different aspects. Like I worked in production, then I worked in like actor management for 2 months. Then I worked in marketing for 2 months. And what that did to me was gave me a whole idea of, marketing is making me the most happy in all this, because production requires a lot of physical and labor work, which I am not willing to do. Like it doesn't make me happy to be that exhausted every day. Yeah, I was not going to do production. Actor management and marketing was something that I was like looking forward to, because management is I think management and execution is my forte.
Yeah,
that's what I
wherever
realized.
you have to communicate
Yeah,
with
that's what I
people.
realized in that. And because we marketed a lot of good brands, and my feedback was also pretty great in marketing, then I chose marketing. Marketing was, I think, was a very good balance of taking lead, execution, and also a very organized system, which I like. As a person, I like to be very organized. I hate
Chaos.
it when the chaos is happening in
Yeah.
production, actor management. Everything is a lot of chaos because this industry is not very stable.
Organized.
And for some reason, I knew that I'm only going to work in industry because now I've got an experience in BMM where I've dealt with industry. In masters, now I'm dealing with Bollywood industry. So I have to be working here because now I don't know anything else. If marketing I'm going to do, I'm going to do for films or series or for actors, whatever it is. But it is going to be this space. Why I loved marketing was also because there was a sense of confidence that I got because people also listen to you. There's a sense of mutual respect. In production, in my experience, I did not feel that much of like, and for me, while I'm working, respect is equally important. For me. So even from that stabilization point of view, production works so hard. Like they are the soul of the cinema and all that. But still, I did not feel that kind of importance was given to me on that side.
I think it doesn't have a work culture, which marketing has.
Yeah, and marketing on the other hand, I think was a little bit dignified for me, and I was very good in strategy and ideation, and equally good in execution of the same part. And
I think you're also very, from the start, from the college day, I remember you were really good with like communication. Like
and like making notes, like organizing things, and that only a marketing person can do because they have to lead so many verticals. So I'm like, okay, I feel if I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be successful in this field. So let me try about it. So that phase gave me an idea about, okay, marketing, and it keeps evolving. There's a constant learning. It's not, I get bored when it is a very routine based thing. In production and actor management, whatever it is stagnant. It's the same thing you're doing again and again. But in marketing, every concept is new. Everything
is new.
So I like the challenges that come in marketing with that thing. So that's why I like variation in my job, but also it has to be organized. So that really attracted me to move forward with marketing.
But you were sure by the end of your masters that this is it, marketing is something for you that
not sure, but I'm like I'm gonna apply future jobs in marketing because I have been, and also like we get a letter after from the CEO that she has been good in these verticals. So that's like a verified tick for me that okay, like this is
maybe
my
this
field.
is what I'm good at.
So that gave me a direction to marketing.
So in short, if I want to understand from your journey, masters sort of opened that avenue for you, and while you were working, you were also refining your skills, and then by the end of it, you understood that your skills really thrive in marketing. And this is where you want to head into. So I think, that happens. I think after college, when you start working on the skills practically in the industry or in whatever career that you're thinking of, you understand that you're good at it. Like for me, it was same in the modeling. When I started doing ramp modeling, I understood that I was appreciated by a lot of people, that I learn quickly and I am confident on the ramp, which came from all the senior models and senior choreographers, which gave me an assurance that, okay, I have this skill set.
Sometimes in the journey, you yourself realize, okay, this is
what I'm getting
you
good
don't
at.
even know, and then it's like, oh, this is one vertical.
Exactly. So I feel like that happened with me in modeling. So now that was all the modeling phase. But by the end of it, I also knew that I cannot be a model throughout my life. Like this is not something which will give me the fulfillment that I want from my life, like the purpose I want from my life. So I feel like modeling was good for the money that it was bringing in, but it was not giving me that fulfillment inside, which I was not sure that I'll get from acting as well, because acting was never in the picture by this time. only modeling was happening. But because I was constantly modeling, there were opportunities and I was meeting people who were associated with acting or were actors or were producers,
Yeah.
directors or cinematographers.
Nice.
And then suddenly I started seeing that these opportunities coming in starting from smaller pieces like ads, ads ke audition de do, ya ye audition aaya. And my agency also started pushing me saying that, if you're doing modeling as well, might as well give whatever time you're left in terms of traveling and modeling ke beech mein, try to give auditions. See where it goes. If you don't like it, if you don't understand, if you see that...
what's the harm?
Yeah, if you feel like you're not an actor, what's the harm? You just can go back to modeling and you can go back to wherever you want. Till this time, my plan was कि इकट्ठा करो sufficient money from modeling, जो भी earning आ रहा है, and then invest it in your masters and go. But then acting auditions started pouring in, and once I did acting auditions, I understood I was... In the starting phase, I was extremely bad at it because I didn't had any training, I didn't do any workshop, which was bad on my part because again, it was lack of exposure and lack of information where I came from. Otherwise, people who want to become actor and come at a very early age to Bombay know that you have to go for like theatres, or know that you have to join like acting classes or coaching classes, or you have to join casting houses and learn things, right? Which was I was not aware of. But I had this agency which was sort of bringing all of that to me without me doing a lot of effort. So in that aspect, I consider myself extremely lucky that I went for Miss India, because then I had an agency known as Times, and they had already the experience and exposure I would have required otherwise. So in a very short span, I got the entire exposure of the industry, that how to go about it if you want to become an actor. Like give on auditions, meet casting people. These are the casting people you'll meet. You have to keep on giving auditions. The more auditions you give, the more chances of you getting and ending up on a role if you're a good actor, and then you can go about it however you want. They also introduced me to like theatre people, that theatres are also an option where you can head to, or you can straight just give up on commercial, like start giving auditions for commercial acting, which happened with me. Like I started giving auditions, and I remember after auditioning for good 4-5 months, I landed up on my first ad, which was a Google Pay ad, a small segment, but it was fun to do. And after that, I got the project which actually made me drawn towards acting. Which is I was doing modeling for this brand where the cinematographer was taking the showreel, and he said, he contacted me later after that entire modeling assignment. He said that, we are looking for a short film, we are making a short film and we're looking for a character. Do you want to audition? Because I saw you, like you have a natural presence on the screen. Do you want to give it a try? And at that point I said that, I've only done like the small ad which had required no more acting as such. It was more of a model job. But that's all camera experience I have. So he said, yeah, that's okay. You just give it a try. And then I auditioned for it, and then I got through it. And it was a short film which we shot for like 3-4 days. When I was on the set is where I learned the most from the people who were already in the industry, like the directors, and I understood, okay, who is who, what department people take care of, and what is my job. And when I did it, I felt the first sort of kick in my life. Like I felt like this is the most belonged I've ever felt. And surprisingly, it was acting. Like I never thought, but it was surprisingly acting. Like when I was doing the thing I was doing for those 3 days, I didn't remember what time it is, how many hours I've shot for. My legs are hurting, or my feet are hurting, or whatever is hurting, or what is going on in the world. I didn't care about anything. I was fully 100% there in that moment, and I've never felt that way. So I feel like that was my first tick saying that this is what your purpose is. And after that there was no looking back, because it sort of fascinated me so much that I am a person who's not so expressive otherwise in life. I am very in control of my emotions, and I keep myself guarded. I was so open in front of camera. Like I had to think about nothing. So I feel that sort of liberty that camera gave me, like that sort of space where I could just be myself, just be as vulnerable as I want, and nobody would judge me, was something very fascinating to me. And I think that is what drew me to acting. And then later I kept on giving auditions, and then things started happening. But this is how acting happened.
I think a lot of actors are like that because they are not that expressive in real life. They are immensely great on
camera.
I've heard stories.
Because I feel like there you just get a space, like you feel like you won't be judged if you cry.
Yeah, because this is your character.
Yeah, this is a character that it is doing, not me. So I feel like that sort of also comes into the picture. But then of course, when you grow more, you understand the intricacy of the craft and how it goes. But I think that was the first time when I felt like this is the career I want to go for. So that was my certain point. What was for you?
So while I was doing my master's itself, I was not very patient to find a job. Like, I wanted a job in my hand before I was giving my final exams for master's, and I excelled in that. I just start like, it's very.
I remember you also did an internship in like college. Summer.
Yeah, I always used to do
Third year.
internships in
Yeah.
college, and like that time, surprisingly, they were marketing internships.
Yes.
Because I would always not prefer going to hometown for 2-3 months, because that is not what I want to do. That's why I tried to escape my house with work, and I feel it's so funny that my family has a big role in making me successful, because I never wanted to go back to home. That's why I kept taking all these jobs, because like this is the best reason. Like, they cannot even say anything. I'm doing internship. What would they say? And I'm still in Bombay. So it's funny in a way, but so I had interviewed for a few companies, and one of them selected me. Like, few of them selected me, but the package was, to start with, was good in first company, where this lady interviewed me, and she was like, I think 6 months of experience is good for me if you have it in Jio Studios. Because in that company also there were like brands of actors or that we were managing. It was a mix, like it was OTT platforms that we were managing, movie marketing that we were managing. But initially, the brand that I was put was in Saif Ali Khan's House of Pataudi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that brand was my first experience. So I'm like, oh, but like I was thinking more of entertainment. She's like, we will always keep moving you to other teams.
Yeah.
But for you, this is your solo project, because there is no marketing person for this, and you are perfect fit for this, and we can allocate that budget, because there is a certain kind of budget that comes from the brand too, and then how much you're paying the employee, that's how it's counted. So they only needed one employee for that, and that was me with Saif's brand. And then there were a lot of shoots that I executed with Saif Ali Khan. It was fun. So that point I realized, okay, maybe I'm not just a brand glamour related marketing girl. I understand marketing in brand's perspective too.
Also.
And then there was a Make My Trip campaign that we did. So initially for 3-4 months I was in that. And then they moved me to OTT platform called ZEE5. And ZEE5 for me, I really sucked in that job, because I really did well in the brand side of it. But when I was put in that ZEE5 team, I really sucked in that, because the work overload was so much, and it was all screen. So I used to make a lot of mistakes. And because I was just starting, the job became more like a postman's job, where I'm just telling graphic designers to work on this, telling videographers to work.
So just and then job, like
just servicing it to the client, then client is giving changes and I'm telling. So I was not very fulfilled with that job, because it was like, oh my god, I literally feel like a postman. Like, of course there were ideas that came through me, but then again, because ZEE5 was just launched at that time and there was a lot of work to go out, and ZEE5 was also not that organized with us. So the changes are coming at 2 a.m. in the night and all that. I don't like it. The reason why I chose marketing was because I wanted this life balance. Anyways, whatever, I discussed it with my managers, and then they moved me to movie marketing. They are like, okay, I think whatever your problems are, we cannot now put you in the brand team, because we need you in entertainment team. So we will put you in movie marketing, and that is where we dealt with Dharma Productions, Zee Studios, Yoodlee Films, Saregama, and those kind of brands. That is something that I really liked when I went to movie marketing, because movie marketing gave me more liberty than a postman's job that I did on OTT platform, because it was more of, oh, one movie is coming, I'm giving my ideas. The ideas are actually coming into the picture. Actors are executing it.
So you
the team is executing
thoughts coming into
yes,
your
I
life.
like it when my job is adding some value. I did not feel my job was adding any value in that OTT platform team that I was put in. I just thought that I was useless, and I don't like to feel useless in my job. In movie marketing, whatever happened, then it was digital agency, right? So then, because it was digital, everything was digital, then I'm like, maybe I need to explore more of movie marketing. I don't want to just be in digital space. Movie marketing is so vast and so entertaining that I want to be in the 360 space of movie marketing. So then I started finding my job opportunities in those kind of companies where they're handling it, and digital agencies just hired, just like how I was the digital agency first. And then, but in that time, I guess I was approached by a university who I was freelancing for a very long time with my job. But then my manager over there, he approached me and he's like, just till you find the job, why don't you stay with me full time and just make your own team, execute videos and do your ideation and all that. So that is again a brand that I worked for. And I never realized it in this journey. It was a university brand that I'm working for, creating reputation for them. And in this job, everything was me. I'm ideating. I had my juniors in my college as a team. I created them as a team. So I had my team, I'm guiding them, they are producing, I'm seeing that like this is literally my idea, my work, of course visuals of my team, and then that gave me so much satisfaction and also good money, great money, work-life balance, what work-life balance, because it was a university. They did not work that much. Great work-life balance, everything went well and until I found the job, and then luckily it was a tick that I found the job because it was before COVID. And then because after COVID, university was shut. And then luckily I had a job on my plate which was already there, and they did not remove me after COVID. They're like, no, it's okay, we'll figure it out. And that's where I started working for Netflix and Amazon Prime in that company, and it was 360. So even in COVID, it was a little bit digital heavy, but I still got a lot of opportunities to work in the 360 space of movie marketing. I used to do country tours with the people. So it was fun very physically demanding. I was home for like a week or 4 days in a month, but it was a very nice space to be in for the age that I was in, and for the exposure that I was getting, for the people that I was meeting, for the glam area that like I'm looking at where you're coming from, small town. So it was a very nice space for me, and I'm like, okay, this is something that I really, really like. But then my life took a turning point, which would be our final phase. Then you can tell me.
So my final phase, which I then will conclude with what went wrong and what went right in my career choices and what I would advise is, as I said, that I understood acting as something that I wanted to do, and then I wholly and solely focused on acting. And then I started up giving more auditions, started knowing the industry better, started knowing my casting directors better, which was a journey, of course, on its own. The more you audition, the more you understand. But then came opportunities which work, and acting is a job which is very creative and which is very, opportunity based. Basically, if you get casted for the role, you'll get the part, and if the part is good, then you'll be recognized and all of that. So those are like consequences of being in this profession. But I think that's when I understood, and now I'm at a point in my life where I know that this is my career. Like, this is it. I enjoy acting the most, and I cannot think of me in any other form or in any other field other than this, because I thrive when I'm in front of the camera. What were the right things I did in terms of my career was associating with my agency and trusting them fully and solely, because I feel like a lot of people who come from small town don't have the exposure of how to become an actor, and there are so many confusing rumors out there like how to be one, and people do get caught up in that clutter and do make wrong choices and then end up in wrong places with wrong people, which I feel if you don't want to go for that route, just come to the city, get your basics done first, like your pictures and all of that, and find for an agency. Like, start mailing. And especially, I think what will actually work in favor in today's time is that we are, social media heavy generation. So we have everything out there. Like, all your casting houses and casting pages are out there on Instagram. So just do your research, find all the casting houses and start sending them your profile and your portfolios. Get yourself an agency, because that will actually safeguard you. And I'm not saying for the long term or for lifetime. Just get it for a year or two to understand the basic procedure of how to become an actor. Once you're done on that, then you can go on your own, like do freelancing. Once you have made the contacts, once you know how it is, once you know that nobody can fool you, then you can go freelancing. So I feel like one of the best decisions I took in my early stages of career in this profession was that I had an agency, which literally safeguarded me from everything that was, that would have gone negative in this industry. So I had the right people to back me up. So that was the right thing I did. The second thing I think I could have done better is I could have started acting maybe earlier, like in college time maybe. Started exploring more in that terms. Agar main college mein kar leti, to I think I had much more time to sort of explore and to understand and to start the process earlier. Because it is a long process. There is no saying that there are shortcuts to this. Like, it is going to take your time. People will take time to know you. People will take time for you to build your portfolio of work, to show people that, I can play this and I can play that. So that is going to take time. So the more earlier you start, the better it is. So maybe that I could have started exploring it in my college, and if I would have done that, that would have benefited me for sure. But I'm not saying that if you don't, it is like a life-ending situation. You can start any time in your any age, anytime. I think acting is a job you can start any time, any age. Like, if you're 40 and you decide on acting, fine, you'll have characters for it. Third best thing is, start while you're doing this. Keep on working your skill set. Like, keep on working your skill set, because as an actor, the job is never ended. Like, you have to keep on working yourself. You have to keep new languages, keep learning new, new skills or new things. Keep making contacts with people. Keep collaborating with creative people in the industry. Don't restrict yourself just to money. In initial stages of your career, go out. If you have a photographer friend, tell him, let's shoot a show reel. If you have a writer friend, tell him, let's shoot a short film, like a 1 minute film, a 1 minute monologue, whatever, write, I will act. So do all those creative process, like do creative collaborations, that will really help you. And I think that's it. That's pretty much it. And don't fall in the wrong hands. And the last thing that I would want to suggest everybody is, more than doing right or wrong, is a learning that I have understood, that being an actor requires immense amount of patience. Physically and emotionally, like more emotionally and mentally, you have to be very patient. You cannot be a person like, mujhe results chahiye. Acting aisa job hi nahi hai. Like any other job, you put in effort, you'll get a result. You put 20% effort, you'll get a 20% result. You put 100% effort, you'll get a 100% result. That's a certainty with every other profession. With acting, it's not there. Any artistic job, actually. Any artist, that certainty you'll never have, that you might put your 1,000 and you might just get 10% in return, or might even not get anything in return. So be prepared for that. It is a privileged job. I'm not going to deny that. It is a job that comes with a lot of privilege once you are at that stage and once you are there. But to reach there takes a lot of time. So come prepared with that sort of patience in you, and come prepared with that sort of passion in you, that you want to do this no matter what happens. There are going to be more sad days than happy. I am telling you very realistically and honestly that there are going to be, like, out of an entire year, there are only going to be like 2 months of working on set, and that 2 months would be fulfilling for you, but there is then 10 months of waiting, and 10 months of keeping that patience, and 10 months of being sane to be an actor. So I think you have to be mentally very strong to become an actor, is the crux of it. So I think, that was from me, what to do, what not to do. And in terms of leaving acting beside, in terms of career, or in terms of if you're navigating career, only advice I'll have is just keep on exploring. You'll never know what's written for you, or what is your profession, or where you feel the most fulfilled. So just keep exploring. Don't see anything above or below. Do whatever comes to your mind. Do whatever opportunities come to you. Do it. Just go for it. You will find your way. Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful.
That's it.
I agree.
For you?
So my final phase was, everything was going good with movie marketing and everything, but there is a point where everybody in life wants to grow and keep, like, you want to grow. Everything was going good, but it was pretty like same routine, same rush, same anxiety with every project, a lot of work, right? And I'm seeing a person who is 31 to 35 years old age group in my company, and they're working as similar to me. I'm like, if this is the life I'm gonna get after 30, maybe I don't want it, because after 30, I want my money to make more money, and it has to be like a process where everything
Growth
is just
is
like a cycle, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not against, like, I still want to work, but it cannot be that heavy, because priorities change after 28, 29. And I'm a person who will change her priorities according to her family. If I have my own family, my priority will be my kids first, and then everything else. So I would not be able to give this kind of time to this industry, if whatever. Then I explored the path of going abroad, and I'm like, okay, maybe I think this is the best time, because work-life balance in Bollywood industry is like, it's a dream.
You
cannot
no
get
work-life
it.
balance.
It's not, every project is a big project, every movie is a big movie, every show is a big show. So there is no time to be like, अरे हाँ ये chill वाला है तो ले लेंगे ऐसे chill में. It's very frustrating for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna explore something which is much more interesting. I'm already good with brands, and I'm gonna go explore out there. So I went to Canada, and for start, I was working in Zara for 3 months till I got my real marketing job. But what Zara helped me was just in communication and all that.
Understanding the country better.
How things work in Canada, and it was a very good decision to work there because my diction got better. I know what works here, what does not. My understanding of people got really better in that phase of my life, which is very important in marketing.
Yes.
You need to understand people a lot in corporate life, especially marketing, because marketing is indirectly selling things. It's just a glamorous word for
job hai.
It's just a glamorous word for salesperson. Yes. And it's marketing. So then I got my job, my first job, which I'm still working for, and I'm really grateful because it's such a beautiful company, and it gives me, and I kind of from 24 to now I'm 29, I kind of grew with them, right?
Yeah.
And in that, it was a real estate industry. It is a real estate industry that I work in. And somehow I started loving working for real estate. The kind of ideation, challenges, experiments I get to do in real estate, and the way I'm always excelling in it, the way I'm managing it is so much more better than how it was in movie marketing.
Yeah.
So I don't think so I would ever turn back and go to the industry. Never. Because this, I think, now I've found my way. This would be it for me. It gives me a proper work-life balance. It gives me sense of taking lead creative, because now my position has also grew with time, right? Now I am one person who's managing everything related to marketing, and it's also 360 marketing, but in a different zone and in a very organized setup, which I am pretty much fulfilled with. And the kind of people that I want to work with, the kind of mutual respect that they speak with, the kind of mutual ideas we share, and then how we grow from it is a major difference and shift for me, because I feel that in India also I was creating, but the creation came with a lot of pressure, chaos, and mental damage. Whereas in Canada, I'm still creating, but I'm thriving with it. The kind of validation I get with my work, it makes me really happy. And I would not have it any other way. So I think now I've gotten my forte that, okay, this is it. I'm a proper corporate marketing girl. Like entertainment industry, Bollywood industry that I learned in was just a starting curve. And the learnings that I would like to give to everyone is from my own learnings, that, and also said by a very gentleman, that your ability to deal with people will only take you far in life in corporate world. You can excel in your work, but if your ability to deal with people is zero, you're not gonna be that successful. What comes with me as a person, also how I am, I'm very personal to everyone, and it comes very natural to me. So that, thank God, I don't have to put in effort to that. First, while doing marketing, you'd never have to make a client feel that you are gonna earn money out of him. In marketing, I feel you should make your client feel valued on a very personal level, and what they should end up after meeting you is going with a feeling, not a sales pitch. You have to make them earn their own feeling. So that is what I've excelled in a lot. Like, I'm very personal to people. So whenever I approach someone, I first ask everything about their personal life. Then I try to understand their psychology behind of how things work and everything. Once you understand the psychology, it's easier to pitch in a psychology that they like to be validated, or they like to be taken ahead in. And the last thing that helped me a lot in growing is, whenever I used to do freelance projects or whatever, I would be flexible with money, that you can pay me less, that's okay. And I would also give 4 to 5 designs or products in free to them. So that just adds an added value to them. And it is also okay if you sometimes overwork yourself and work for free for first 2-3 months, because eventually they are gonna like your work when you're gonna, if you're gonna work good, they are gonna like your work. And then then it's just a cakewalk for you, because then now you've built personal relationship with client. But you also have to be very smart in those 3 months. You give your best work and you build that kind of trust and personal relationship with the client, that and eventually they don't want to go somewhere else. They just know that you have understood the brand, you understood the assignment, and then it's not very hard, like, and they don't feel very used. Because if you're pitching with the way of that, oh, this is the money, we are not gonna, there are people, and it's okay to do that if you have your boundaries, but that never worked for me. What worked for me was this way, and that led me to good problem solving skills and personal attachment to clients as well as the brands. So that has worked. That's
Great.
it.
Any advice that you want to give?
This
in terms
was
of,
the advice.
In terms of, apart from marketing career, just career. Like what you have learned.
Career, just like I kept, I knew that I know I'm in marketing, and I also knew that, okay, this is the way I was gonna take. But I kept exploring in categories and subcategories. So I think you need to find your niche, that this is the niche that I'm good at, and this is the market that I'm good at. And in marketing, there are different variations. There is B2B, there are SEO marketing, then there is 360 marketing, then there is digital marketing, there is content creation marketing. So you can be good at so many things, but for me, what has worked for is just taking one thing, working on it again and again and again, and being master to that.
And finding
Yeah.
your space.
Yeah, so mastering one skill really good, and then it's a constant learning. Marketing is a constant learning, and I have learned to trust younger generation more with my content creation, because I feel they give the best work. Then I have started to trust more 45 plus people with my accounting and finances. So I also know the age categories that I should be dividing my work in. And that works really well, because I cannot be working with the same age people in every sector, because everybody has their pros and cons. That's how I divided.
Makes sense. Great. I think that's how we started, and that's how we've ended up in the career we are. And this is what we have learned throughout the course of figuring out what we want to do and what we don't want to do. And eventually have ended up in a space where both of us are happy in our careers, and we think that this is where we'll thrive the most. Of course, life is a learning chapter. You'll keep on learning new things. You might, start having new hobbies, like podcast is for us. Like we are also exploring in this arena. But it is just an added. But in terms of career, I think that's all we had from whatever experience we have had till now, and whatever time we have spent in the careers, in our respective careers. Right? I think that's from our end what we wanted to convey and say. I hope we could make you understand a little better about how to navigate your careers from this talk, and you might feel a little more at peace that it's okay, you will take it, one step at a time, and you will end up where you want to.
It's a journey, and you have to keep exploring till you find your right fit.
Yes. So that's about it. What an eventful episode we had. And on that note,
she is always right. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We are on Spotify and we are on YouTube.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining in.